Okay, so as of this recording, I finally caught up with Boruto, and gotta say, I like it. Now, before going into the Boruto manga, I should probably give you my grievances as to why I didn't do so in the first place. Number one, I'm particularly an anime watcher, and I wanted to experience Boruto in its anime form. But when the initial anime came out, it was essentially pretty much filler, and that put my interest into the Naruto franchise at an all-time low. Because in my mind, I'm just like, you know what, I'd have to wait all these months or years to get to the canon material in the anime. I was just like, you know what, I'm not even gonna bother. If I care enough to read the manga, I will at some point, and I didn't care enough until recently. Now, I was told by some people that the manga was actually pretty good, and again, that didn't prompt me in order to go out and read the manga. What prompted me, it was kind of like two things. One is that I knew that the time skip was coming, and I wanted to catch up to that at the very least to see how drastic the change was going to be in the manga. And then two, and kind of the sort of main reason, is because I started up this Naruto channel, and if I am going to be making Naruto content, I should be well informed at the latest content that is going to be pushed available. So with that to say is that I was already mixed with the idea of going into the Boruto story. With that being said, I'm kind of glad I did. I have some grievances that I have with the story, but I'll get to that a little later. But overall, I do find it to be a decent read. So for preference, I skipped around to around chapter 10 or 11 since the first 10 chapters were based off the movie, and I didn't feel like reading any of that, so I just went based off 11 to like 80, and then the Boruto manga first chapter as this recording. I think that's the latest one out, the chapter 1 for the Blue Vortex manga. So with all that, I can say that the main thing that I enjoy about the manga so far is that it is competently written. Now, it's not heart-pounding, I would say, or like exhilarating in comparison to OG Naruto, but that may just be due to, I don't know, maybe some nostalgia that I was geared towards for the original Naruto. But even with that in mind, I still find OG Naruto and Shippuden to be an overall better story. With that being said, this story is still palatable. So would I recommend, say, if someone like me who wasn't into Boruto because of the anime, go out and read the manga? Sure. I don't want to sound like, oh yeah, it was a decent. I don't want to have to just say it's a decent read. It's like, oh yeah, it's okay if you want to read. Like, it's just, I'm not gonna force anyone. Like, for what this manga is, I give it like a solid 7 to 8 range. I give it closer to the 8 range because there's not really much wrong I can say that there is with the actual story. I don't know, it's just this feeling I get reading this, knowing that this is part of the Naruto universe, that sort of like takes me out of it, I guess you could say. That being said, my only real critique with the manga in of itself is its existence. It still ticks me off that to this day, the ending of Naruto ended up the way that it did. We went from ninjas to space aliens. That to me is still ridiculous. And even after reading the Boruto manga, which like I said, I deem it to be good, I'm still not with the idea of it going from ninjas to space aliens. It's just something narratively there that just takes me out of it. It was so captivating to see like these characters back in the day as if it was normal in their day-to-day to be like, oh yeah, we're ninjas, we have this thing called chakra, you know, we do ninjutsu, we take on missions, this, that, and the third. But then essentially, because of what happened at the end of OG Naruto, it propels this idea that it's only because of these alien creatures, these fake deities, just going about in planet to planet, just trying to bear the fruit of the chakra in the world. You know what I'm saying? It's just weird. It's just weird. It's weird to me. Okay. Now that being said, what we got out of it is a good story. Don't get me wrong, but it's sort of like finagled to be a good story because you had no choice but to make it a good story. Otherwise, this property wouldn't continue as is. Like, not many people would be interested in it. Now, because it's Naruto, it still may sell. You feel me? It's like, you know, I deem Dragon Ball Super to be way worse than DBZ, but that still made a bunch of revenue for the Dragon Ball franchise, and that came out to be canon when that initially came through. The issue with Boruto initially for people was that the anime was trash because it's majority filler. Like, most people would not watch that, at least people who are interested in the actual story of Boruto, like me. A little while after, I was just like, you know what, screw it, let me just read the manga, you know what I'm saying, and see if the actual story of Boruto is good. And it is good, but again, it shouldn't exist in the first place. Because of the alien nonsense, I'm not into it, but it is what it is. That's all I'm gonna really mention at this point. I'm not gonna give like a full-blown review because I don't want to have to spoil people, because I don't want to spoil it for the people who haven't caught up to the manga at this point. I do recommend it though if you haven't already. If you want to know the Boruto story, I think it's gonna continue to be good. Now granted, I wouldn't read this if it wasn't attached to Naruto. I don't care that much about it, but because it is, I feel like I have to. But again, I don't want to make it sound like I'm forcing myself. Like, I genuinely like the story. It's just, again, the idea of it having to start off with ninjas to aliens just ticks me off to this day. But whatever, with what we got, I like it. I recommend it. Go for it if you haven't already. Now, if you guys do want me to do a full-blown review of the manga up to this point, I'll be willing to do so just to get my overall thoughts. I just wanted this to be an impressions video, essentially, to, you know, give more credence to the idea that Boruto is actually decent. It's actually good. I've been ragging on it, but, you know, it's mainly the anime. I couldn't say much about the actual manga because I haven't read the manga beforehand. But when people say, oh, Boruto's trash, I'm assuming that they mean the anime, because that's what I was doing, and that's what I'm going to be compelled to do, because I still deem the anime to be trash. The actual manga, I'm all for it. I recommend it. But yeah, if you guys do want me to do a review of the Boruto manga up to this point, let me know in the comment section below. So I asked, have you guys read the Boruto manga up to this point? If so, what are your thoughts on it overall, and would you recommend it to others? Let me know in the comment section below. I'm the Curly Haired Hokage, and I hope you all have a great and blessed day. Peace.